Hi. So are you ready to start the meeting? That's why you started the recording?
I can go ahead. If you guys aren't ready, we can stop and restart it. But yeah, we all are here now, so we can start whenever you guys are ready.
Okay, and what I wanted to say is I just sent over to Robbie and Thomas the document, which is the updated how to run a meeting minutes. Zoom or Google, it's in a Google Drive doc, but I sent it over as a Word doc as well. It's giving me a message that it won't let me share with you guys, and that maybe that your email addresses are restricted from Gmail. So I think, Thomas, you may have to redistribute that document out to whomever. It sounds like well, don't we have to vote on the chair? Is that at the beginning or the end of the meeting? So I will get all this in order of business, but I need to know these things.
We should probably vote on chair and vice chair at the end of the meeting. That way someone's not caught off guard. And Aaron, if you want to.
That I was going to suggest that too, but of course, whatever the board prefers.
Okay, so first I will call it meeting to order and we can figure out what we want to do as a board then. So this is a meeting of the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Tonight we have one item. So on each item, staff will present first and the applicant second, and then the public will be invited to comment. Following that, the board will discuss. Now, before I review any voting rules, we have some meeting rules that have to be addressed by Thomas, who will read those through. And I'd like to ask first, board, do you want to vote for the chairperson at the end when we're finished? I have, yeah, everybody's nodding their heads. Okay, great.
Makes
So
sense.
I'll lead this meeting and then we'll see what happens. So, Thomas, you're on.
All right, just one moment. Let me pull up these slides. Can you all see this? All right, so the city has engaged with community members to co-create a vision for productive, meaningful, and inclusive civic conversations. This vision supports physical and emotional safety for community members, staff, and board and commission members, as well as democracy for people of all ages, identities, lived experiences, and political perspectives. For more information about this vision and the community engagement processes, please visit our website. The following are examples of rules of decorum found in the Boulder Revised Code and other guidelines that support this vision. These will be upheld during the meeting. All remarks and testimony shall be limited to matters related to city business. No participant shall make threats or use other forms of intimidation against any person. Obscenity, racial epithets, and other speech and behavior that disrupt or otherwise impede the ability to conduct the meeting are prohibited. Participants are required to identify themselves using the name they are commonly known by, and individuals must display their whole name before being allowed to speak online. Currently, only audio testimony is permitted online. When given the opportunity to speak, hover your mouse or finger over the bottom section of your screen or phone for the control panel to show, and then click Raise Hand. If you don't see the hand raise option, it might be under this reaction bar right here, and that's another opportunity to go in and raise your hand, and then we will call on you and give you permission to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's see, I have the link open here, so just need to pull up the number. So, of course, as soon as I'm looking for it, it disappears. So, second here. Okay, so the first matter this evening is BOZA 2024-00005, address 880 Gapter Road. Robbie?
Okay, I will go ahead and share my screen. Okay, and you should see the presentation on the board right now. Again, this is docket number BOZ 2024-00005, and the address is 880 Gapter Road. This is a setback variance. As part of a proposal for the addition of an attached carport to the site of the existing home, the applicant is requesting a variance to the interior side north setback standards for a principal structure in the RR2 zoning district. The resulting north interior side setback taken from the subject carport addition will be approximately 2 feet where 10 feet is required, and where approximately 18 feet taken from the north extent of the home exists today. Section of the land use code to be modified, section 971 Boulder Revised Code 1981. And up there on the screen, you see the location of the property. It is again zoned RR2, and within the application materials, there were 3 letters of support from surrounding properties. Those 3 properties I have denoted on the map on the screen with the 3 stars. Those are the property to the north and the 2 properties to the west of the applicant's property. And this kind of shows you some existing site conditions. Circled there in the red circles on both the survey and the aerial view is the location of the subject carport that the board is considering tonight as a part of the variance application. And this just gives you an idea of some street view and pictures provided within the application of the property, and especially the location on the property where the subject carport will be located. So tonight, it's a pretty straightforward, simple request. It is again a setback variance to the side north yard, and that's for an approximately 2 feet from the addition of the carport, where 10 feet is required and approximately 18.5 feet exists today. The 2 feet is taken from the support columns of the carport, and that 18.5 feet that exists today is taken from the closest point of the existing home. And you can see that kind of under one of the lines there on the image, the lower image. So the request tonight again is for 2 feet where 10 feet is required, and 10 feet is the minimum set interior side yard setback requirement for homes in the RR2 zoning district. And this just gives you an idea of some dimensionals or dimensions of the subject carport. There was mention of it being possibly metal, it being possibly wood. Because BOZA is not a design board, the change between the two would not necessarily impact staff's evaluation, and it also would not impact the location. It would still be at 2 feet, but whether or not it's wood versus metal was not important in staff's decision, and that is something that the applicant could decide at building permit. But the location, the dimensions, the height, and especially the 2 foot distance from the north property line are all going to remain the same regardless of the ultimate materials. And this just gives you an idea of some architectural drawings, some renderings of the subject carport. There you can see the support columns where that 2 foot setback is being taken compared to the fence, which separates the property to the north and this property. And then a little more in the way of zoning information. Again, it is zoned RR2. The lot size is about 42,000, just over 42,000 square feet, where 30,000 square feet is the minimum for the zoning district. RR2 does permit and support larger areas for properties. In the existing and proposed building coverage, because carport, the addition of a carport would be considered an increase in building coverage, we had to verify that it would not be an issue. The maximum allowed building coverage for this property is around 8,415 square feet. With the subject carport, the proposed building coverage would come in at around 3,487 square feet. So under half of what the maximum allowed is for the property. This, of course, would be verified at building permit once it came in and pending tonight's decision from the board. And carports, open carports like this are not considered floor areas, so there would be no increase in floor area to the property as a result of this carport. It is located in Solar Access Area 1, and due to the height and the location of the subject carport, there is no violation from Solar Access, and that would also be verified at building permit. And then also due to the size and location, there is no side yard wall articulation or side yard bulk plane issues that staff could find. And then the height existing and proposed, it comes in at around 23 feet. That's the entire house. The actual carport is not modifying the structural low point, and it is well below the maximum height of the existing house. I believe it comes in at around 10 feet is where the carport comes in at. So it's well below the maximum allowance, so height would not be an issue. And a little bit in the way of history, the home was built circa 1957. And up until recently, a little more than 10 years ago, it was not even in the city of Boulder city limits. It was annexed into the city just after 2010. So that likely results in some non-typical standards, design standards when it comes to placement of homes. The county does have different setback requirements than the city, but it was annexed into the city. So any new addition would require it to meet the city of Boulder's setback standards. So that is why the applicant is in front of the board tonight to get the side yard varied. So responded to in the application, the applicant did respond to criterion H1 and H5 and provided some pictures and response and justification as to why they felt they met. Staff does agree with the applicant's conclusion. And in short, staff is recommending support and approval of the variance request as it has been presented within the application. We feel that it does meet criterion H1A, both I and II, physical circumstances or conditions. This property is due to topographic conditions and there being a ditch or drainage system on the south side of the property. The house is somewhat shoved to the northwest corner of the property, and putting a carport over an existing driveway seems logical and functional versus putting it on a side of the house where there is no driveway or a new driveway would have to be built. So we feel that there are physical circumstances or conditions limiting development or by right development of this property. And because of these circumstances, a carport could not be built over an existing driveway. And then also we did receive letters of support from neighbors voicing that they would have no concern with this. So we do feel that it would not negatively alter the essential character of the neighborhood or district or impair reasonable use and enjoyment from neighboring properties. The neighbor to the north who would be most impacted by this is one of the three letters of support that you did receive within the application. And then already mentioned would not conflict with the solar access regulations. And given the need for the carport, as explained within the application, staff does agree that this would be a minimum variance to afford relief for the property owner. So with that, I can answer any questions. I know we do have the applicant here in waiting who can also answer any questions, and I will leave it at that.
Thank you, Robbie. So board members, maybe raise a hand if you have a question and I'll call you. I definitely have a question, so. No one else is ready? Okay. So Robbie, nowhere in the application did the applicant mention a ditch. So when I looked at this and I saw a 42,000 square foot lot, I was like, surely we can do something better than this. So I guess, where is the ditch? Can you show that to us? Is it on the,
It is on the aerial, and there is and the applicant may actually have more information on this, but it appears it is a drainage easement of some sort. And let me share my screen again. And let's see. There we go. If you can see this right here, this whole area right here is a drainage system. And this is to the south of and this is the house. So this whole area right here has a drainage system.
okay, so that's part of the ditch?
I don't know if it's a ditch. The applicant, the homeowner may be able to provide more in the way of what exactly it is, but there is drainage, a drainage system to the south, pretty much entirely to the south of the property or to the house.
Okay. Any other board members have a question for Robbie?
This has been just a question about looking at the Alta survey or improvement survey plat, improvement location certificate, my apologies. It also shows a leach field to the east, it appears. Is that part of that drainage system or is that a separate constraint?
If you're talking, that appears to be, I don't know if it's directly related to it, but there is also right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but this is what you're talking about, I believe.
Yeah,
So that is also something that would prevent any development from the city. We would not want somebody developing on something like that.
thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so if in that case, I think we're finished with questions for staff and it's time for the applicant to present. So are you prepared? I see two people in the room, so I don't know. Thomas, you probably know who's ready to speak.
Well, I'm the applicant. My name is Victor Sauma. Thank you for looking up at this case. No, quite frankly, I've not prepared a presentation. My understanding is that I could rely mostly on the presentation of the staff, but I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Can you just explain your address, please, for the record?
880 Gapter Road.
Okay, thank you. So, board, do you have comments, questions?
I guess along the lines of what Jill was asking about, that drainage system to the south of your house.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it for, and why is it not on the survey?
Okay, about following the 2013 flood, I bought the house subsequently. This house was flooded entirely. And so I had a hydrologist, and he advised me that there should be a ditch away from the neighbor line, about 3 feet deep, filled with stones, to capture the water and drain it to the east side, which is what I did.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. And was the survey done before that was added?
No, the survey was done when I bought the house, quite frankly.
Okay.
And as Rob had mentioned, I mean, had we tried to place a parking spot over there, I would still have to build a walkway, which would be at least 30 feet from it, and it would be a much bigger structure. It'd be more invasive also overall visually. Right now, what I'm planning to do is just above an existing spot where we park our cars.
Nikki, nothing? Okay, no. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you for answering the questions from the board. Our next question is whether or not we have anyone here from the public. Anyway, I see one other person in here, but they may be, I don't know. Thomas?
We don't have any attendees in here that are not panelists, which is just us and the applicant.
Okay. So we will not have any public comments, so I'm closing the public hearing. And it's open to the board for discussion. So ideally, you guys start the conversation. So who's ready? Drew?
Sure. I guess personally, I feel that it meets the criteria, specifically actually the the A2, the physical disability. I understand that it is very difficult to just shovel that snow, especially it's north facing in the shadow, where it'd be the logical place to park the car. And so using that criteria and the additional criteria, I do think it meets. So given that, I would be in support.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nikki?
this has been, I agree with Drew, and with the staff analysis. It seems like this application meets the criteria.
Thank you. It's nice if everybody, so thank you, Nikki.
I also agree that it meets the criteria. I think that what I'd like to add to my comment as well is I'm always interested in our residents, our Boulder residents being able to age in their homes, and looking at that second criteria in terms of the physical disability and having the homeowner be able to access their property in a way that is safe for them is very important to me. And just, having our residents be able to stay in Boulder is very, very important to me as well. However, it does meet, in my opinion, it does meet all of the criteria. And so I would be in favor of voting for this variance.
And Katie? You're muted. Well, it looks like you're not muted.
Okay, now I raise my hand just to comment on Nikki's comments, because yes, I've been living in Boulder since 1984. I've been a faculty at CU from where I retired after 40 years of teaching, and indeed this is my last place where I would like to spend the last chapter of my life.
Katie, you want to try again and see? Yeah, I think we had this happen one other time. Is there anything on our end, or is it on her end?
What's helped me sometimes is going into where you see the mute button and picking a different microphone with that little up arrow. Because I've had my microphone reset on me. And when I click that, then there's a drop up menu where you can select a microphone, which doesn't look like it's helping.
Did you have to call in last time? No, it worked. Okay. All right. Because mine just says ask to unmute right now. Does that do anything for you? As it does appear that you're muted. No, we can't hear you. Can she chat?
I would maybe recommend leaving and rejoining the meeting.
Yeah, I would try that first.
Okay,
Hear me?
there you are.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, I tried that, I tried it again. I switched again and worked. I was merely going to add that I'm familiar with that road because I sometimes will run out that way, and I can confirm. I think the applicant in his application mentioned sort of a side benefit of sort of increasing the safety of the road because it's sort of narrow, and taking, a car.
We lost you again. That's weird. No. I think we probably got the gist of what you were saying, and you were agreeing with the applicant that it was safer. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I mean, I agree with the general direction this is going in. I just always have a hard time when a lot is 42,000 square feet in having to come up with a variance. And I appreciate having a better understanding of the site constraints. The drainage is very important, especially given the fact that it flooded. So I'm fine with it. I just, you know, I sincerely hope it is as minimalist as they are describing. So it sounds like we have a consensus. If somebody wants to present a motion, please. Katie, you can't talk.
I move to approve BOZ 2024-00005.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor individually. So Katie, you're gonna have to just put your hand, well, I'll just acknowledge that yes, she's saying aye. Okay, Nikki,
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
and I. So your request has been unanimously approved, and we wish you the best in your construction project. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I missed who seconded that. Could you confirm that for the record, please?
That was me, Ben.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so the applicant, I think you can stay and listen to the rest of the meeting or not, but just so you know that we are finished with your request. And your application has been approved as submitted. So do we have matters? So we have the minutes, I think I've already submitted a correction, is that right? And it's been corrected, Thomas?
Yes, that's correct. The first version that went out was just a mistake. It was an earlier save of the file. So the version that's attached to the packet now should be updated. And if you all have any other corrections, we can make those, but otherwise they're good to go.
I have a motion to approve the minutes as written, as transcribed.
So moved.
Oh,
Okay, thank you, Ben. Second? Shh, Mark, I'm in a meeting. Excuse me. Sorry, my husband just came in the house, so. Did we get a second on that motion? Katie is seconding. All those in favor. So Katie, I can see you. Wait, raise your hand. So that's an aye for Katie. Drew,
aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Nikki,
Aye.
Jill, aye. So the minutes are approved. Thank you very much. So the next thing was probably the chairperson, right? We need a little guidance from you. Right, so
I
is
think-
that head
I
nod?
think, yeah, the next step before we get into board or city attorney matters, I think we could do the chair and vice chair, the voting of. So if y'all want to discuss it amongst yourselves and vote on both, I think it's up to you now.
What do you guys want to do?
Jill, how much longer do you have? You're here for another year, right?
I have a 5-year term. It's, right, Robbie?
Jill, you are the next up. And I believe your term ends next March or April of 25.
I would like to nominate Jill to be the chair.
Second.
You guys are funny. Is that for sure? Because I just remember it was such a hassle getting back on that it feels like I just started. But time flies. So Erin, you have to tell us. I mean, I don't mind being.
I'm looking it up quick to find the page that has all of you listed in your terms. Unless Robbie, you already.
And I'm looking, it's actually on the BOZA
mine's
website.
going really slow.
Going to that right now, but I'm pretty sure, Jill, you are up in 25. So you are currently the last.
Okay.
You might be at the tail end of your 5-year reappointment, but
Looks like only a
that's-
4-year appointment for Jill for some reason.
That would make more sense, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been someone stepped down and then you were reappointed and
Yeah.
filled that term. But yeah, it says Jill is the next one off. Nikki ends 2026, Katie 2027, Drew 2028, Ben 2029.
All right. I don't know what to do next. Do you vote on it? Is that what has to happen?
I
You
think,
can discuss.
Yeah,
You
unless
may have a lot to discuss, Jill.
unless you're against the recommendations that we've just heard from, I believe, Drew and Nikki, then there would be a vote or a discussion for another person, another applicant, I guess you could say.
I mean, I thought Nikki wanted to be the chair next. Evidently, I didn't understand that correctly.
I want to be the chair after you. But you still have another year, Jill.
Okay. All right.
That would make you the vice chair, Nikki, I think.
Put Nikki-
I
You're
would
the
be,
VP, yeah.
I'd be willing, but if anyone else is interested, please speak.
I think, Nikki, you should do it and be the vice chair and get the minutes and the meeting stuff so you can run the next meeting and you won't if you need to. Because I will be traveling some. So, yeah. I mean, if you want me to stay, I never oppose being in charge of something, so
Great.
I'm used to doing it. But I appreciate it's an honor to be asked again. Thank you. I appreciate that. So do you want to take a vote on yeah, like I said, I don't know how to do this, Erin. Or is it just a consensus? Do we have to vote or?
Yes, and I believe there was a motion and Ben, did you second it for this
Yes.
too? So, yep, then you can call for the vote.
Okay, so I'm gonna abstain. So Nikki, the motion being for it, and it can it be for both of us where it's
Separate. I would do one for the chair, do that. And even if you recuse under the rules, it's counted in the affirmative. So you're welcome to recuse, but Thomas, it should be recorded as a aye then.
So do you want to call for your vote, Tom, Ben?
Yes.
No, I thought someone needs to say.
I move
Yeah.
for Jill to be our chair for the rest of the year. I move for Jill to be the chair.
Okay. Ben seconds. All right, and so how did we all vote? I mean, fine, I'll vote yes if I, okay.
All in
Kate,
favor.
Aye.
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 Nikki, I, and Ben. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. I am gonna move, because I never get to move, that Nikki be the vice chair. And can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ben. So round robin again, all those in favor, Ben,
Aye.
Drew,
Aye.
Katie is raising her hand for aye, and Nikki?
Aye.
And aye. So, here I am again. I know my script so well now. I was like, wow, thank you guys. And will you, share that with, Robbie or Thomas, send that doc to Nikki? So she has it. So if I'm absent, she can jump in and do that. And there's a lot of information in there, Nikki, that you don't see that got how you act as chair. So I think it's pretty helpful.
I have it, Jill. I thought this was the meeting that you weren't going to be here. So I actually asked for it thinking that you were in Germany this time. So
And will you double check that one matches what I sent over to you? Because there were a number of changes in that older script. I think it should match, but I actually, when I did it today, I found several more typos and I edited it. So just double check, please. Good to know you have it though. Yes, I have had many plans to go to Germany that have been changed. So I'm here until the end of August. So now, I think our last part is matters from the board, if anything. Does anybody on the board have any matters? City Attorney. Nice to see you here, by the way, Aaron.
Thank you. And in our participant, our 9th person that you haven't seen, who was here at our last meeting also is Deshauna Zezueto, who is another attorney and kind of backing me up and may soon take over as lead with a BOZA meeting. So she's watching in the wings, and at some point she'll probably be my window, and then I'll be in the background backing her up.
Thank you. And Robbie.
Yesterday was the application deadline for the Tuesday, July 9th BOZA meeting, which is our next meeting. And we did receive one application, so it appears we're going to have a July meeting. So stay tuned here in the next week. I will send out a more detailed email about that. But it does appear we're going to have a July one.
And the only comment I will say is that meeting, my grandchildren will be here. So depending on if everybody else is going to be here, I may defer to my vice chair and not join that meeting. So just depends on how much chaos there is going on.
Thank you for the update or the heads up.
All right, if there are no other matters, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you again.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.